My fiancé cheated with my best friend. I used to believe betrayal came from enemies. I never imagined it would come from the two people I trusted most. My name is Emma, and for most of my adult life, I thought I was incredibly lucky. I had a successful career, a comfortable apartment, a close group of friends, and a fiancé who seemed to love me completely. His name was Daniel. Daniel and I met at a friend's birthday party 4 years ago. He was charming without being arrogant, funny without trying too hard, and attentive in a way that made me feel like I was the only person in the room. We talked for hours that night. By the end of the week, we had gone on our first date. Our relationship moved naturally. We traveled together, met each other's families, supported one another through career changes, and eventually moved into a beautiful apartment near the city center. Then, on our 3rd anniversary, Daniel proposed. He arranged candles across our balcony and played the song from our first date. When he got down on one knee, I started crying before he even opened the ring box. "Emma," he said, "you're my best friend, my home, and the person I want beside me for the rest of my life. Will you marry me?" I said yes without hesitation. The first person I called was my best friend, Sophie. Sophie and I had been inseparable since college. She knew every secret I had, every mistake I regretted, every dream I was afraid to say out loud. When I told her I was engaged, she screamed so loudly that I had to pull the phone away from my ear. She insisted on being involved in everything. She helped me choose a wedding venue. She came with me to dress appointments. She created spreadsheets for flowers, invitations, food, and decorations. She even offered to organize my bridal shower. "You deserve the perfect wedding," she kept telling me. At the time, I thought her excitement proved how much she loved me. Looking back, I wonder whether guilt was already eating her alive. A few months before the wedding, Daniel began acting differently. At first, the changes were small. He started bringing his phone into the bathroom. He changed his password. He stayed late at work more often and became irritated whenever I asked when he would be home. I tried not to overthink it. Wedding planning was stressful. Daniel had recently taken on a major project at work. I convinced myself that he was tired, overwhelmed, and probably feeling ignored because I had become so focused on the wedding. Sophie agreed. "You're both under pressure," she told me one afternoon while we were looking at table decorations. "Don't create problems where there aren't any." I felt embarrassed for being suspicious. The strange thing was that Sophie had also become harder to reach. She canceled dinner plans, stopped answering my calls at night, and claimed she was spending time with a man she had recently started dating. I asked several times when I could meet him. "It's not serious yet," she always replied. One Friday evening, Daniel told me he had to attend a work dinner. Sophie had also canceled our movie night, saying she was sick. I decided to surprise her with soup and medicine. When I arrived at her apartment, her car wasn't outside. I called her, but she didn't answer. I assumed she had gone to the pharmacy, so I left the soup with the security guard. As I turned to leave, I noticed a familiar black car parked across the street. It looked exactly like Daniel's. I walked closer. The license plate confirmed it. My heart began pounding, but I still tried to find an innocent explanation. Maybe Daniel had stopped by to check on Sophie. Maybe she had called him because I wasn't answering. Maybe he had brought her medicine. Then I saw them. They came out of the restaurant across from Sophie's building. Daniel's hand rested on the small of her back. Sophie was laughing. They stopped near his car, and she leaned forward to kiss him. Not a friendly kiss. Not a misunderstanding. A slow, intimate kiss between two people who had done it many times before. I stood frozen beneath a streetlight, holding a bag of medicine for the woman kissing my fiancé. For several seconds, I could not breathe. Then Sophie looked up and saw me. Her face changed instantly. Daniel turned around. "Emma," he said. I dropped the bag. The glass bottle inside shattered against the pavement. Neither of them moved toward me. That hurt almost as much as the kiss. How long? I whispered. Daniel opened his mouth, but nothing came out. I looked at Sophie. How long has this been happening? Her eyes filled with tears. Emma, please. How long? 6 months, she said. 6 months. That meant the affair had started before Daniel proposed. The balcony. The candles. The ring. His speech about love and loyalty. All of it had happened while he was already sleeping with my best friend. I felt something inside me break. You both helped me plan a wedding, I said. You sat beside me while I tried on dresses. You listened to me talk about our future. How could you do that? Sophie began crying. I never meant for it to happen. I laughed bitterly. You never meant for it to happen for 6 months? Daniel stepped closer. It started as a mistake. A mistake happens once, I replied. 6 months is a decision. He reached for my arm, but I pulled away. I was going to end it, he said. When? Before or after you married me? His silence gave me the answer. I took off my engagement ring and placed it in his hand. The wedding is over. Daniel stared at the ring. Emma, don't do this here. Let's go home and talk. That isn't my home anymore. I walked away while they remained beside the car. For the next few days, I stayed with my older sister, Claire. I turned off my phone because Daniel kept calling. Sophie sent dozens of messages. Some were apologies. Some were explanations. Some claimed that she loved me and had never wanted to hurt me. I deleted every message without responding. Claire helped me cancel the wedding venue, caterer, photographer, and florist. Each phone call felt humiliating. I had to repeat the same sentence again and again. The wedding has been canceled due to personal circumstances. People began asking questions. Relatives sent concerned messages. Friends whispered. Daniel told some people that we had been experiencing relationship problems for months. That was another lie. We had problems, like every couple, but I never knew our relationship was already over. A week later, Daniel came to Claire's house. He stood outside holding flowers. I need 5 minutes, he said when I opened the door. You've already taken 4 years. He lowered his head. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. Then why are you here? Because I love you. I stared at him. You don't betray someone for 6 months if you love them. I was confused. No, Daniel. You were selfish. Confusion doesn't make you lie every day. Confusion doesn't make you propose to one woman while sleeping with another. He began crying, but I felt strangely calm. For days, I had imagined this conversation. I thought I would scream, demand details, or beg him to explain what Sophie had that I did not. But standing in front of him, I finally understood something. Their affair was not proof that I was lacking. It was proof that they were dishonest. I want my things from the apartment, I said. Claire and I will collect them tomorrow. Don't be there. He tried to hand me the flowers. I closed the door. The following afternoon, Sophie appeared while Claire and I were packing my belongings. She looked exhausted. I need to speak to you, she said. You've already said enough. Daniel ended things with me. I looked at her in disbelief. Is that supposed to make me feel better? No. I just need you to know that I lost everything too. You didn't lose anything, Sophie. You threw it away. She flinched. I was jealous of you. The confession surprised me. She continued before I could respond. You had the career, the apartment, the relationship, the wedding. Every time you talked about how happy you were, I felt like I was falling further behind. So you decided to sleep with my fiancé? At first, he was just comforting me. We talked about feeling ignored and unimportant. Then one night, we drank too much. And after that? She looked down. We kept meeting. I nodded slowly. You weren't jealous of my life. You were willing to destroy it because you wanted to feel chosen. Tears rolled down her face. I'm sorry. I believe you're sorry now that you've been caught. But you weren't sorry when you helped me choose my wedding dress. She covered her mouth and started sobbing. For a moment, I remembered the girl I had met in college. The friend who stayed up all night with me after my first heartbreak. The person who knew me better than almost anyone. Then I remembered her kissing Daniel under the streetlight. I don't hate you, I said. But I will never trust you again. Emma, please. You need to leave. She walked out without another word. The months that followed were difficult. I moved into a smaller apartment and started therapy. Some mornings, I woke up angry. Other mornings, I missed them both so much that it physically hurt. I had lost my fiancé, my best friend, my home, and the future I had imagined. But slowly, life began rebuilding itself. I reconnected with friends I had neglected during my engagement. I traveled alone for the first time. I accepted a promotion I had previously turned down because Daniel did not want to relocate. Most importantly, I stopped blaming myself. A year after the cancelled wedding, I heard that Daniel and Sophie had tried dating publicly. Their relationship lasted less than 3 months. Without secrecy, excitement, or betrayal holding them together, they realized they had very little in common. Neither of them contacted me again. And I was grateful. People sometimes ask whether I regret discovering the affair so close to the wedding. I do not. The truth destroyed my plans, but it also saved my life. Had I married Daniel, I would have built a future on lies. Had Sophie remained beside me, I would have continued trusting someone who secretly resented my happiness. Their betrayal broke my heart, but it also revealed their true character before I made the biggest commitment of my life. I once thought losing them meant I had lost everything. Now I understand that I only lost 2 people who were never truly loyal to me. And in the process, I found something far more valuable. I found myself.